Annyeonghaseyo, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of Dear Daisy, where we get to know the voices behind the calls, the teachers, the students, and the stories we rarely hear but deeply feel. I'm your host, Jam, and I'm so glad you're here. Today, we're starting with someone very special to our Dayoung community, Teacher Jill. Jill is not just a passionate English teacher. She's also a political science student from one of the most prestigious universities in the Philippines. A young woman navigating both work and school, chasing her dreams while staying grounded in reality. Hi, Jill. Welcome to Dear Daisy. How are you today?
Hi, Miss Jam. Thank you so much for having me. Such an honor. And I'm doing great. I am very excited to be able to share my story with you today. But just a heads up, I feel a bit sick or under the weather, so my
Oh,
voice might not be at its best. I hope that's okay.
that's really okay. You actually sound really clear right now.
Oh, thank you, Miss. I think that's just the noise cancellation.
I see. Then let's begin. So, Jill, you're balancing a lot right now studying,
Mhm.
teaching, yes, and still finding time for yourself. Can you tell us a bit about your daily life right now?
You really summed it up perfectly, Miss Jam, because my daily life feels like a balancing act. I juggle schoolwork, I teach English, and everything else in between, and that includes commuting, doing errands, and even finding time for myself when I can. So my day looks like a typical, student's routine where I wake up early, I prepare, and then go to university to attend our classes. But then
Mhm.
I also teach during the evening, and honestly, it feels exhausting, but also
Yes.
rewarding. Yes, miss, because I've learned how to work with limited time and energy, and also how to be patient with myself. So, each day comes with new challenges, but I take comfort in knowing that I'm slowly building something meaningful, even if it doesn't always feel like it.
I see. That sounds both, yeah, you're right, exhausting, but inspiring. It's good that you feel that you're building something meaningful. And many of our listeners, I think, especially the young women, feel the same pressure to do it all.
Yes, that's true.
I've heard you're a political science student. What led you to pursue political science?
It's kind of surprising a bit, maybe, that
Hmm.
an English teacher, right, is a political science.
Yes, it's really surprising.
Yes, but it was my great grandfather. I call him Tatay, who first planted that seed in me because he once dreamed of becoming a lawyer, but then
Hmm.
life had other plans. Like there were limitations, sacrifices, and responsibilities that got in the way. So he didn't end up as a lawyer, but a passionate pastor instead. But still, as I grew up, I still heard about, his thoughts that he still
Hmm.
carried that dream with him. And when he talked about justice, law, the
Hmm.
government, yeah, his eyes would always light up. And so as I grew older, I found myself drawn to it too. Like, not just the idea of law or maybe arguing in the court, because that's the usual, thought about it, but I was wondering about what it could do for the people like him and the others who missed out on opportunities because of life. And um political science just felt like the right place to start, and I have been in awe of it ever since. So it's like a promise I made to myself and my family that I would pick up the dream they had to set aside.
I see. That sounds really lovely, actually. Sometimes people really need someone to help them, especially those
Mm-hmm.
in the marginalized sector. They just need a little push to do something meaningful as well.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. So, my question now is, why did you end up teaching English alongside political science?
At first, teaching was simply a way to support myself financially.
I
But then,
see.
yeah, over time, it became so much more than that, Miss Jam. I'm pretty sure you could relate to, how fulfilling it can get.
Yes.
And especially because I am an introvert. I'm the biggest introvert that I know. So
Hmm.
I used to struggle with speaking up, even in small groups. And then my mom would say, "You want to be a lawyer? Then you don't like speaking in public?" And then I would say,
Yes.
"I don't know
That's a
how
bit
to
ironic.
practice." I know, right? So I think one of the things that really helped me was teaching because it forced me out of that shell. It taught me how to connect with people, how to listen to their stories, and of course, how to respond. Because if I didn't know how to, hold the conversation, then the students wouldn't be really interested in the class, right, miss? So
Yes.
I really didn't expect to grow this way because I thought I was just helping students learn English while I earn money. But then I was also learning how to use my own voice, and it gave me confidence that I didn't know I can have. Well, it's still challenging at times, but
Mm-hmm.
now it feels like I'm doing something that not only sustains me financially, but also shapes me as well.
I see. That sounds really fulfilling. And yeah, that's true. Sometimes your students become your friends, actually.
I agree, miss.
Well, then, since you're a working student right now, what has been the
Hmm.
most difficult part of being a working student?
Hmm. Oh, one word.
Mm-hmm.
Time. Definitely, definitely time. Because sometimes it feels like I'm living three lives at once. My student life, my teacher life, and also,
Mm-hmm.
just being a young adult trying to survive and figure things out for the first time because as they say, we're already in the quote unquote real world. So it
Yes.
feels as if 24 hours not enough. It's not enough at all. And there are days when everything piles up, like deadlines, sessions, classes, responsibilities, and I feel overwhelmed and stretched too thin. But it's really hard to give 100% to everything, especially
Mm-hmm.
when you yourself, your energy isn't 100%. But then I've learned, I guess, to prioritize and to forgive myself on days when I fall short. And I remind myself that doing my best doesn't mean doing it all perfectly as a perfectionist.
Yes, progress over perfection.
That's right. I love that quote, miss.
But don't worry, as long as you're doing something every day, you're moving and you're
Mhm.
improving.
Yes.
Well, then, since there are tough weeks, how do you take care of yourself during those difficult times? I think this is a question that many of our listeners can relate to.
That's right, because I'm pretty sure that our students are also very busy during
Yes.
their, work as well. I have students who would be at my classes during the evening. They would apologize if they sound tired because a
Yes.
lot of them would have overtime at work. So one thing that I can really suggest, or for me, what I do is really self-care. And
Hmm.
for us, self-care can be in different forms. For me, it comes in small, quiet moments. For example, I can listen to some calming music or take short walks or enjoy a meal without rushing because sometimes in between classes that's when I would eat my meals.
Yes, I can actually relate to that.
Yes, and the most important thing for me these days that I give myself is sleep.
Ah, yes, that's really important.
Yes, and it's kind of sad that sleep has now become like a luxury when in fact it's a necessity. But sometimes, like I've said before, the time isn't enough, so my sleep gets compromised. But it's really important. So as
Yeah,
much as
it's really
possible,
important.
sleep, yes. And maybe for like the emotions that we have, maybe setting boundaries, saying no sometimes, and also
Mhm.
very important is to let go of the guilt that you feel when you take breaks. Because sometimes we feel, oh, we don't deserve this, we don't deserve to take a break. But
Ah, yes.
yeah,
Yes,
and
like when you're not finished doing something and you feel
yes,
guilty.
true. Do you feel that way as well, Miss?
Yeah, and I'm already 30 years old. Yeah, I still do the same thing that I do
Mm.
since I was in the university. If I haven't finished something yet, I feel guilty to rest.
Mm-hmm, that's true. But at some point, maybe we have to learn not to feel that too much because, it can be a bit bad. But yeah, and also it's very important to have people that you can trust where,
Yes.
like your support system. So that's it for my self-care.
I see. I think that's a really good advice, Jill.
Mm-hmm.
But then, even though we do self care, sometimes things just really get difficult. So,
That's true.
have you ever felt like you want to give up? And then when you think about giving up, what stops you from doing that?
My gosh, the answer to that question is a big fat yes. Many
Ah, yes.
times. Yes, more than I can count. There
Mm-hmm.
were nights when I was so tired that I questioned everything. If it was worth it, if I was strong enough, if I was even on the right path in the first place. But then, in those moments, I really think of my tatay, my
Mm.
family. I am not only carrying my dream, but also their dreams on my back and the sacrifices as well that they made so that I could have the chance that they didn't have. And so, more than that, I also think of the people that I hope to help someday, especially those who,
Mm.
feel unseen or unheard during the system. And that's what really keeps me going. That the belief that this struggle has meaning and I'm working not just for myself, but for other people too.
That's really true. The struggle has meaning. When you struggle, you learn. And
Yes,
it's really important to help people that feel unseen. Because sometimes they don't really feel that they can get help from anyone. But then someone like you appears, and then the day feels a little bit better.
that is true. And I think a lot of people are more privileged than others. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, if we have the privilege, then if we have the voice, then we can speak up for those that don't have the voice.
Yeah, that is really true. You have to use your voice to speak for others who can't do it for themselves.
Yes.
So, Jill, where do you see yourself in the next few years?
Ooh, that's an exciting thing to think about. So, maybe in the next few years, I hope to finally be in law school. Hopefully,
Yes.
fingers crossed. And I know it will be just as difficult, if not more difficult. But I also know that I'll be stepping into a dream that's been passed down to me and held with care and love and sacrifices. And maybe I also want to continue teaching because I've grown to love it and it really helped me a lot. So more than anything, I see myself using everything I've learned through studying, working, and just living in general, like to be a voice, like you said, for those who feel left behind by the system. And
Mm.
it's really my passion to be in spaces where, justice feels like a luxury or it feels unreachable, and hopefully help to make it closer and more possible to these people.
Ah, yes. Then we will expect more from Jill in the next few years. Maybe we'll be attorney Jill in the next few
Oh,
years. Yes,
hopefully,
fingers
hopefully.
crossed.
Yes.
Yes. Then, Jill, if you could write a short letter to your younger self or to the other girls like you, what would you say to them?
Oh, this is a really good one.
Mhm.
I will narrate it for full effect. But
Okay.
yeah, so um dear Daisy Jill, I know you're scared. I know you sometimes feel like you don't belong, like you're too quiet for the world that you want to be a part of. But please don't shrink yourself, because the things that make you different now, the way you feel deeply, think carefully, and even move quietly, will become your strengths later. And to the girls like me, you don't need to be loud to be powerful. You don't need
Mhm.
to have everything figured out to keep going. Keep showing up, keep dreaming, even when the world tells you to settle or to stop, because you are allowed to take your time. You are allowed to rest, but never stop believing that you have a place in this world and that your dreams, no matter how hard you have to reach it, are worth fighting for.
Aw, that's really beautiful, Teacher Jill.
Thank you so much, Miss.
And that's really true to all
Mhm.
our listeners. It is really okay to rest. You don't have to feel
Yes.
guilty about it. It's just that you do not stop. Don't stop, please. Because
Yeah.
your goals, they're very important. They're very meaningful.
I agree. I agree.
Yes, so thank you so much for today, Teacher Jill.
Yay!
And yes, we wish you all the best with your studies and your work. And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on our first episode of Dear Daisy with Teacher Jill. I hope Teacher Jill's story reminds you that you're not alone, whether you're studying, working, or simply trying your best. We see you and we're rooting for you. So until the next episode, take care of yourself. This is Jam signing off with gratitude and a warm heart. Thank you.